Day01, Hour 2, Part 2. And in this session now, we are going to make our machine ready by installing Unreal Engine. Right now, the very first machine in which I am going to install Unreal Engine is a latest machine with Nvidia 5000 series graphic card. So to just introduce you to the machine that we are going to use, I'm going to come into my Windows here. Already I have Windows 11 installed here. If I come over Windows menu and if I choose settings here, and if I come to system and if I come to above, you can just see here, my machine has Intel Ultra 9285K, the latest processor with 3.7 gigahertz bus speed. And if you see here, it has a 128 GB RAM. So I can come here and type system information, and you have the icon here, system information, and I will click on open here. And this is going to open the system information board. And in the system summary, you have a detailed system analysis here, and you can now see here, this is using X890 chipset, and it is a gigabyte motherboard. I will come into this system task manager, and here, if I come into this Nvidia settings, right click and choose Nvidia control panel. And when I open Nvidia control panel, you can now see here, this has Nvidia GeForce RTX 5070 Ti is the card. And if you click on system information here, you can now see this opens a window, and here you can see the graphic card name, DirectX runtime version. And if I scroll down here, you can see the dedicated video memory is set to 16 GB. It is a GDDR7 RAM. Previous graphic card had GDDR6. This is having GDDR7. So then, going through this, before we start the installation in this system, the very first thing I have to do is, I will close this, I will come into Windows, and I am going to go to Settings, come to Windows Update, and click on Check for Updates, and see that all the updates, all the patches and Windows updates are applied. I have to next go to the Nvidia website here, open a browser, go to Nvidia website, go to drivers, and in case of drivers, I can come here and in GeForce RTX 50 series, I will select my card, which is Nvidia GeForce RTX 5070 Ti, select the version and click Find. And now you can see here, you have two versions of driver. One is called as the studio driver and another is called as the game ready driver. Although we are using Epic Games and Unreal Engine, which is a game software, we are not going to use this game ready driver because there will be some performance issues. Game ready driver is meant to play games. Whereas since we are developing the game for development and to use it for applications like video editing, animation, photography, graphic design, they have a separate kind of driver called a studio driver. So now I have to install this studio driver. If I come here and click on view, and this is the latest version, I will click download here, and I am going to download this driver. You can go to open, and you can just right click on this file, click on run as administrator, and click OK to extract this driver files. So now you have this license agreement. I click agree and continue. You have two options, express and custom. I will choose custom, click next. I will click on perform a clean installation and click next and wait for the complete installation to be over. Now, once the installation is now over, I can click close here. Now, once the driver is installed, if I come to search here and if I type Nvidia, you will see this Nvidia app. From this part, or you can come into the system tray, you have Nvidia here, right click here and choose Nvidia app. And in the Nvidia app, you can log into your account, you can come into drivers here, and you can see the latest driver installed here, and you can either choose studio driver or game ready driver. So you can make all the changes here. So once the driver is installed, the next thing that I want to do is I have to now actually install the Unreal software. The very first thing I want is I want to come into my system, and in my PC, I have to see that I have at least around 100 GB of space available in my drive. So right now, I have two drives, C drive and D drive, and both of them are NVMe drives. I won't do it on EFGH drive because all these drives are actually a mechanical disk. That is, this is a magnetic disk. So this is a 8 TB magnetic disk, whereas C and D, these two drives are NVMe SSD drives. So to know this, you can actually come over here to the control panel, and if you come over to Windows Tools and in Computer Management, if you open this, you will have disk management here. You can see the disks I have. I have this 8 TB hybrid disk, which has this EFGH drive, whereas this disk 1 and 2 both are NVMe drives. So these two are actually the drives that are SSD NVMe. See that you install in any of the hard disk which is an SSD hard disk for better performance. So now, if you doesn't have an extra SSD hard disk, install it on your C drive only. See that you have at least 100 GB space. So right now, since I have a separate NVMe drive for Unreal, I will close this and I will come into my computer, and here in my PC in D drive, I am going to come here, right click, and I am going to create a new folder, and I am going to call this as Unreal folder. So this is in D Unreal, I am going to install my Unreal software. So after choosing my location, now I will come here and open any of the browsers. Say for example, I will open the Google Chrome browser, and in the Google Chrome browser, now I am going to type Unreal. And if I press enter, the very first link I see here is unrealengine.com. So I will click over this link and come to the Unreal Engine website. So this is the current website that you are seeing. So this is the Unreal Engine website. So the very first thing I have to do is, for this, I have to install a software called Epic Games Launcher. So for this, I will come to download button here, and the very first thing I have to download is this launcher. So as soon as I click here, I have this getting downloaded, or if I click cancel here and if I click on download launcher, this is going to start the download, and I am going to now, it is in the download folder, I am going to right click this and choose open. And I am going to first install this Epic Games Launcher, and this one I will install it in its default location, that is C Program Files Epic Games, because this is just a launcher. This is not the actual Unreal. This is just the launcher software. So this I am going to install it on C drive. So this doesn't take much of the space. If you have some 3 or 5 GB, it's enough. I will click on the install button, and now this Epic Game Launcher will be installed on my systems. Now see, the driver is getting updated. It is now installing all the prerequisites. Okay, so now once the installation is over, you will have a shortcut created here as Epic Games Launcher. And the very first thing I want is I have to sign in into my Epic Games account. I will maximize this. Right now, if you already have an Epic Games account, if you are playing some of the games here, you will already have it, or else you can create a new account by coming here and clicking on create account. So when you click on create account, this is going to create the account. The very first thing is you have to give your date of birth. And after you give your date of birth, then you enter your email here. So I will enter my email here and then enter your name and display name also. This should be a unique name. Then I will come into the password section and create a very strong password that has capital letter, small letter, and special characters. You have to click on this. I have read and agreed the terms of conditions. I will click here and click on continue. Now the account is created. Now I have to now come into my Gmail. And in the Gmail, you would have got a mail from Epic Games, email verification. If I click on this, this has given me a number 186083. So I will come back here and I am going to enter 186083. I've entered the number, and if I click on verify email, so now my account is ready. And now you have this Epic Games Int launcher. This is the main screen, and the current version is 5.5 as you are seeing here. And you have different tabs here. On the top, you have news, you have some samples, you have the Fab library from where you can download all the assets. You have library here, Twinmotion and reality capture. These are present on the top. And then on the left side, you have store and you have library where all your assets are placed. And then you have Unreal Engine here. Now, coming to Unreal Engine, now here, you are seeing the option here, click install engine, and you have a drop down. This is right now grayed out because I doesn't have any Unreal Engine installed here. So if you come to library and if you see this, so you can now see no Unreal Engine has been installed as of now. So I will come back to Unreal Engine and I will click on install engine. Right now, I can choose the version. So right now here, I will click cancel and I will come to install here. And here you have the latest version. So if you want to change the version, I can click on plus here, click here and choose the version. I can even go back to and install multiple version of Unreal Engine here. So right now I will close this. I have the latest version 5.5.4 over here and I have the install button here and I am going to click on install. Now the very first thing is the folder where it is going to get installed. I have a separate drive for Unreal Games. So I will click on browse here and I am going to come into my PC D drive and Unreal. So this is an SSD drive. And you have to see that it gets installed on SSD drive. D Unreal, I choose this path. And inside this, you have D Unreal UE 5.5. Okay. Now, you have the option here and you have one option button here. And when I click on the option, see, as of now, the basic Unreal 5.5.4 takes around 39.16 GB of size. Okay. And it is going to download 14 GB. So right now you have the core component, which is 34 GB, starter content 641 GB, template and future pack 3.77 GB, engine source is around 385 MB. And if you scroll down, you have engine symbol for debugging. So right now we doesn't need it because we are not going to do any programming here. And if you come down, if you are going to actually build the application for, if you are building a game, if you are building it for Android, you have to enable Android. If you are building it for iOS, enable iOS. If you are building it for Linux, you have to enable Linux. And you can see how the size is increasing. If you are using it for tvOS, you have to enable it. So now if I enable all the 4 target platforms, you can see my net space is coming to 70.46 GB. But for you, since you are going to use Unreal Engine only for video editing or video production purpose, you need not enable these options. Okay. So I am enabling it because I am also going to do game development here. And editor symbols for debugging also I will enable it because I have the space And if I see this, if I enable all the options, the total space it takes is 120 GB. But for your purpose, I tell you, you need not enable any of the target platform and edit symbol for debugging. So I will click apply. And now with everything set, I am going to click on the install button. So now you have to sit and wait because it is going to download around 20 GB of file. So right now in my case, it is downloading 32 GB of file and it is going to install. And this entire installation process, depending upon your internet speed, it may take around half an hour. It may take 1 hour. Don't worry, leave it for installation and wait till the complete installation is full. The installation is complete and I have the launch button here. So if I click here, you have options here and I am going to choose launch. And when I click on launch, now Unreal Engine, first time when it opens, it takes some time. So it is asking for this firewall security. I will click allow. And now I will click allow. So for all these firewall settings, you click allow. And now once Unreal is launched, you can now see that you are seeing this screen. This is the launch screen. And here you have options. Recent project. Right now, doesn't have any recent project. So this is showing empty. You have games. If you are going to build games, I'm going to choose this option. If you are going to build it for film, video, or live event, I'm going to choose these options. Then you have architectural work. I'm going to select this. For automotive, you have some templates. And for simulation, you have some templates. So these are the templates provided here. So right now to start, I will come into games and I'm going to select blank. And next, I'm going to come into project location. And this location, I'm going to click on browse and I'm going to come into my PCD. I had already created a folder called Unreal. I will right click and create a new project folder and I'm going to call it as Unreal Projects. So I'm going to save all my projects in this folder. In D Unreal Project, I will click select folder. Then I'm going to come here and give a name for this project. I'm going to call this as my first Unreal project. And then in project defaults, you have two options, Blueprint or C++. This doesn't matter for us because right now we are not building a game. Then target platform, you can select whether you are building your application for desktop or mobile. I will leave it at desktop. And you have quality option, maximum and scalable. So if you have a powerful machine, set it to maximum. If you have a low-end machine, you can set it to scalable. And then you have one option here called a starter content. Because when you start, to begin learning, we need some starter content to start working on it. So for that, for my very first project, I am going to enable this option starter content and I am going to click on the create button. So when I click on the create button, again it is going to actually, so you can see it is compiling shaders. So you can see the number of shaders it is compiling. So this is going to take some time because it is loading the shaders of all the starter content. And now finally, our Unreal project is loaded and we are ready to work on it. We have just installed Unreal and we have made it ready to use. So right now, for this session, I will come into file and I am going to click on exit and quit on it. So it is saying that some project files are not associated. If you get this error, you click on fix now, come into Unreal Engine now. And if you come to library here, you can see your new project over here. Before we start working on it, we have to do one last tweak in our Nvidia settings. Sometimes you might have performance issue, especially in case of laptop. So for that, what we are now going to do is, I will come into this system tray, I will come into this Nvidia settings, and I will open Nvidia control panel. And in this Nvidia control panel, come into manage 3D setting, and you have two options here, global setting and program setting. I will come into program setting, and in the list, see whether you have this Unreal listed over here. And if you are not seeing Unreal listed here, you can come here and click add. And in the list, you see whether you have Unreal. And if you doesn't have it, I can come into browse here because I've installed it in D drive, Unreal. And inside this Unreal, you have UV 5.5. And inside this, I have engine. And you have binaries. And in binaries, in this list, I have Win64, and in this I have one. See, you have this Unreal Editor.exe. Select this Unreal Editor.exe, click open, and for this Unreal Editor, whenever it is launched, what I want is, I want some of the settings to be changed. The very first thing is, I will come into power management mode, and I am going to select it to prefer maximum performance. And then if I scroll down, next thing is in texture filtering quality, I'm going to set it to high performance. Then if I scroll down, you have one threaded optimization. I have to set this to on. And then if I scroll down, the last option is this vertical sync. I have to set it to off. So I have done 4 settings. Power, prefer maximum performance, texture filtering on, texture quality high performance, and vertical sync off. And then click on apply. So every time when I launch Unreal Engine, these settings will be used. The same setting, I can also do it in the other way. I can come here into Nvidia app. Now this time I will use Nvidia app. Coming into Nvidia app, you can now see library. You have all the apps. In the home, you have all this app. I will click on see all. And on the left side, you have all the apps here. So what I can do is, I can click on these 3 vertical dots. I will come here, choose add a program. And again, in this case, in D Unreal UV 5.5, I will come into engine, binaries, and Win64. And in that, again, I am going to choose this Unreal Editor.exe file. Click on open. Now you can see that this Unreal Editor.exe is added. I can select this, and even here I can make the same kind of changes. See, in power management mode, I can set it to prefer maximum performance here. And second is vertical sync. I have to set it to off. So here I have only these 2 settings. So I can set this and make the changes here. So either I can set it in the control panel or in this Nvidia app. We have concluded this session of installing Unreal, and we have made this machine ready.